Well, good morning, everybody. We started getting lots of rain last night, so we've started getting a lot of flooding. Where we're at on the north side of Houston, up near the Conroe Woodlands area, we've gotten a lot of rain. No major flooding as of yet, but the rivers are starting to fill up. We've really missed a lot of that Houston is getting right now. We've just been getting waves and waves and waves of rain. Kind of tired. It's my second, maybe third cup of coffee today. Because all last night, phone just kept going off with all the weather warnings, flash floods, tornado warnings, all that good stuff. So far, nothing major has happened in this area. I can't see so much for south of us. I think the concern now, of course, is it's going to keep raining and raining and raining. I've noticed again kind of the same thing as yesterday. When it rains, we get a lot of the areas that are filling up with water here. I think right now the main concerns anywhere at this point is flash flooding, because the ground is saturated. So any little bit of rain, water is going to rise pretty quickly. Maybe power outages due to some of the flooded areas. And one thing that people kind of forget about is when the ground gets really saturated, trees love to fall over. So now I'm just kind of waiting on that, because the ground has been saturated for quite a bit. Just to give you an idea of how much rain has fallen, in some places in Houston, they're already around 20 inches of rain total. They were clocking in at maybe 3 inches an hour in some places, which is quite a bit of rain. Luckily, Houston is pretty good in terms of the drainage, but it can only take so much, of course. Kind of the same anywhere now that the ground is saturated. Let's see. Trying to think of anything else. I'm kind of just sitting and watching, kind of like everybody else, to see what happens down in Houston. I will not be going back to work until I think Wednesday at the earliest. Today is Sunday, mainly because of all of the rivers constantly rising and flooding out of their banks. I know Spring Creek, which is where I work, is right next to that. It is out of its banks. It rose 15 feet in about 12 hours, maybe 18. I have to go look at the charts again. So quite a bit of water. And even if it were to stop raining right now, the rivers and the creeks are still going to rise and continue to rise, because there's going to be rainfall north of us. Water is going to be percolating through the soils back into these river systems. Soil is saturated, so any little bit of rain is going to end up in those as well. So definitely be careful out there for the next couple of days. A few things to note. You know, if you've been watching a few the rivers and everything, stay informed. You can get on the USGS website and search for a creek or river next to your home, and you can look at what levels it's at and how close it is to flooding. And there's tons of information, of course, on the news, lots of video, but sometimes you just need to know, well, is it cresting? How much more room do I have until it's out of its banks? Search your creek, river, USGS. That's one of the websites that I check out. I've been using my radar, which I just started using last night. Thank you, Mr. O'Connor. So I've been using that to kind of track some of the, alerts, looking at some of the wind velocities. There's a lot of really cool features on that. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, check that out. Also, Mr. O'Connor, thank you again. He wanted me to kind of note, if you guys are out in some of the worst parts and you're getting some of the harshest weather around here, you're going to get an alert on your phone for, say, tornado warnings and such. However, those appear to be a few minutes behind the actual broadcast. So what Mr. O'Connor has recommended is, if you have a weather radio, to keep that on in those cases of severe weather, because they're going to broadcast it first, and then you'll be getting it to your phone. So that could give you a few extra minutes of time to prepare for something like that. So it's always best to rely on a multitude of different resources than just, say, your phone or something along those lines. So make sure you have stuff like that. For us, I don't foresee any major issues here where we're at. We're just going to keep getting rain and rain and rain and rain. It's really going to be further south than us. I feel really bad. I'm hoping we don't see any flooding here. I was driving out yesterday and there's a few low spots, but it drained really quickly. So even if we were flooded in, it wouldn't be for any length of time. I don't believe. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're all safe here, so I'm part of CERT, which is the Community Emergency Response Team. I may try to do a kind of a quick sweep. I don't know this area very well, so I may try to drive around and just kind of take a look-see and see if there's anything I can do to help. Again, just kind of keeping ditches and stuff open for drainage right now, I think, is kind of the main concern, because there's not a lot else you can do unless there's some type of emergency, but I don't foresee that happening up here where we're at. So we'll hang out. Again, if I see anything, I'll take some video, but it looks like most of it's happening down south of us, so that's great for us, not great for them. So I appreciate you guys checking in on me. If you are watching these vlogs, I appreciate it. If you like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I'm going to continue doing this, and I'm going to try to do this through all kind of weather situations, and then just whatever's kind of happening here. So I definitely appreciate it. Well, guys, stay safe out there, and I'll be checking back in at least one more time tonight to give you an update for us, which again, I don't foresee us having any major issues, so that's a blessing for sure. Except for my neighbors, they have a pond in their yard. I feel like I could fish in there. Like literally, that's kind of crazy. Anyway, all right, see you guys later. Hey everybody, I just want to do a quick check-in before I turn it in. It's getting close to 8, and it's just been raining here all day, constantly. Still raining, actually. It's pretty bad in Houston. We've been watching the news today, and man, I really feel for those guys. I'm glad they're getting some support. So now we just need the rain to stop and everybody to get some relief. So I'm going to cut it for a day or two and check back in kind of after all this is over, because I don't suspect much will change from today to tomorrow to the next day. So I'll check back in the next couple of days. But so far we're safe. Like I said, I'm just worried about the ground being very saturated and the potential for trees, especially now that the wind's kind of kicking back up. But I think everybody will be just fine. Alright guys, if you can, lend some support to your friends and family down that way, and we'll catch up later. Thanks.